Evening, everybody. Listen, it's all the talk at this moment in time. Top four this, top four that. What's your top four birds? What's your top four films? What's your top four whatever? It's everything top four. Top four, of course, is what we're going to be talking about today. But before we go into that, done a little video for BetVictor, and guess what we was talking about? Top four. Don't forget, subscribe to BetVictor. Have a look at some of their stuff. They do some great content. This is what they were talking about this week. Have a little look, and then we go on to, guess what? Top four.
Yeah, I think that's a fantastic point. I have to say that, but I do think that somewhere along the line we've got some really, really young players and things like that. So I think maybe Champions League could be a little bit too near for them, like where we can get a few players blooded in the Europa League and things like that. But ultimately, we've got a chance of getting there, and I do agree with that with a couple of signings. But I think with the young players we've got, I don't think Champions League. I think we'll get players because of the project that we've got there. I think that with Tottenham, I think it's a shorter term project. With Conte a couple of years. If they don't get it this season, I honestly think Conte will go. If Tottenham don't get top four, I do think he'll go.
Hello, welcome back to the show. As ever, I'm your host, Dan Potts, and myself and lead judges have invited the regulars back on to discuss the top four. Before we go any further, unfortunately, Rich can't be with us, our Wolves fan tonight. He has other commitments, but I think he's even said himself that they've probably wrote himself out now of the top four race. I think it's fair to say. And in Rich's defence, he's been saying that for weeks, so I'll give him that. We are joined by Dan Lawless, first of all. How are you, mate?
Yeah, good, mate, good. Looking forward to a big night tomorrow, of course. So, yeah, mate, I'm feeling good. Last weekend's out of my mind. Looking forward.
Good stuff, man. Dan United's back. How do you feel, mate?
Empty. after this season needs to just finish now, honestly. Feeling good getting back on the show. Looking forward to hearing Toad's banter about the Europa League semi-final. That's the only reason I've actually agreed to come on, because it's just absolute class. But enjoy. Looking forward to enjoying being with you guys tonight.
Cheers for that, Dan. Top man. Tobes, how's your week been, bro?
Busy, man. Busy, but whatever, man. We're here to talk football, I guess. We're here to talk about top four, so bring it on.
Bring it on, indeed. Do you know what? Let's start. He's not going to like me for this, Dan United, but I'm going to start with Man United just because this week has been a strange one, and the weekend was quite big for as it goes for Arsenal. Myself and Lee did a show this week talking about it. I just want to get your thoughts on Manchester United's form, because if I'm honest with you, bro, the last two games, I've been... If I was a United fan, I'd be disgusted by some of the performances, particularly against Liverpool. No fight, no effort. No, the club just looks a mess, if I'm honest with you, top to bottom. And, I see some of the pundits are now giving up on the club, it seems. Gary Neville's always been one of those pundits that kind of sticks up for Manchester United. I see him in the mud the other day just accepting that things have changed for him, things are different. He's just accepting now that it's gone wrong. Roy Keane, on the other hand, has always kind of said it how it is, and that's why I like Roy Keane. But the way things are at the moment, Dan, I don't even know where to go if I was a Manchester United fan. So talk to me about your thoughts about this top four race and Manchester United in relation to it.
Well, I'll tell you where I want to go is to August. Just get to August as quick as we can. Look, Saturday, it is what it is. I fully expected us to lose on Saturday. The form that we're showing, I think, like everybody has kind of alluded to in the past, the lads just aren't in it anymore. And I wouldn't be against Ralph giving a few of the under-23s a chance now. Get rid of the players who are not going to be there next season. Just bomb them out. I just can't be bothered watching them anymore. The interesting thing for me this week was Harry Maguire wasn't playing. And for me, I thought it was almost poetic that he wasn't a fault for any of the goals not being on the pitch. However, Varane, who plays once every 6 weeks, was at fault for the first goal with Tellez. And I kind of just looked at that back four and thought, this is just a story of United's season, placing blame on players instead of looking at the bigger picture. Now, I mean, Ralph's escaped a lot of criticism the game against Liverpool, that formation he set up with, I didn't honestly, I couldn't bring myself to watch it, but I had to because you support the team in through the good and the bad. But I just found myself after 20 minutes thinking, what the hell are we doing? No direction, no communication between the players through the game. They look like they're playing with strangers. So I don't know where we go from this. All I hope is that July comes quick enough for us to get ready for this new season, because top four, as I said before, is completely gone. It was gone 2 or 3 weeks ago. The 3-2 win against Norwich was absolutely embarrassing. I saw United fans on Twitter celebrating like we just clinched the Premier League. It just shows exactly where we are now. It's going to be a long haul for Ten Hag, but I'm actually low-key excited for the summer, because I'm excited to see who he gets rid of, who he brings in, and start to see what he wants to do with the team. So as much as it's awful, short-term pain for me, long-term gain. Let's see where we go in the summer.
Yeah, Lawless, let's come to you on Man United. Are you shocked by what's happening, the ongoings, top to bottom at the club?
Do you know what? I'm definitely shocked with how things have progressed since Rangnick come in. We all heard that he's Klopp and Tuchel's dad, and he's going to come in and sort the team out. And I expected some improvement, not necessarily miracles, and they're going to be at the top of the league, but you'd expect from where they were under Ollie that they'd go on to be better, but they just seem to actually have gotten worse. And yeah. I said this to, and obviously a lot of Man United fans who are anti-Ollie, I've said this to a few of, they was better off just keeping Ollie till the end of the season, because at least the players were more comfortable under the training style. And I could see, it just seemed to be pointless. And then have Rangnick come in anyway, doing his job at the top, help get some signings in, then do that transition. But since Everton, nothing has shocked me about Man United since that Everton game, because that's when I really woke up and realized these are bad. This Man United is one of the worst teams in the league currently. Really, really shocking. And I really, apart from whatever happens with our squad, I think we'll finish above them.
Lawless, do you know what though? You say about should have kept Ollie on. This is where the team has gone completely wrong. Ollie let them get away with murder. Let them have their little WhatsApp groups. Let them have the control of the dressing room. And it was great when we were finishing third, second. This season, when we started to struggle, and I think Ollie realised, shit, I need to get a bit of a hang on this. He'd lost them. He didn't even know he'd lost them until now. He said to them, I need performances. I need you to do an X, Y, Z. And that's, I think, the biggest part of our problem was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I love the guy for that final, but that was 23 years ago. He wasn't a manager. His coaching style was absolutely ridiculous. It was Kevin Keegan in the mid-90s. You score 4, we'll score 5.
Don't you think, Dan, I agree with you. He deserved to lose his job. He has to take a lot of the blame, but that he was better off, rather than let's go and get Rangnick and try and change everything up so drastically mid-season. Let's just stick with this guy, just get through to the end of this season. We're going to clear out a lot of these players anyway and bring in the new players for the new manager, have Rangnick come in as the director of football to oversee that. That might have been the smoother way to deal with things. And Ollie, being Ollie, potentially could have got you that 4th spot, or at least European football, because even top 6 is looking at risk right now.
My worry with that, and I'll be completely honest, and I'm so glad we sacked him. I mean, he should have gone after Liverpool. They had a 2-week break and he was still around. Couldn't understand that. But my worry was, if we'd have kept him, imagine if he'd have gone on another 10-game winning run. He'd have stayed. And we could have potentially lost out. I mean, Ten Hag, I'm still stunned we've got him. I'll be completely honest. I didn't see his future with us. I didn't think he would bother taking a bite at the cherry that is United. I think if you kept Ollie, you potentially miss out on these managers. And I think we're back in the same situation next season. The shit start to the season, and then Ollie goes, and then we bring someone in. So I kind of feel like if you'd have kept him, I think it would have been more hurt than it was help. And actually, in doing so, like I've said before on this show, Rangnick's come in. Fair enough, the football's not been great. We know that. I think everyone on the planet knows that. But what I think has happened is he's assessed the whole club, and what he's got that dossier, that document ready for Ten Hag to come in and say, right, this is where the issues are. You saw last week we got rid of the 2 scouts, the 2 head scouts. They're gone. they've been a bit. This is the problem. We've been signing players on names rather than their ability. And this is where the issue lies. And I think him coming in and doing what he's done. I said when he come, I'm not interested in what Ralph Rangnick does for the next 6 months. The season's gone. The season was gone to me. It really was. I'm interested in seeing what happens next season and what we do to build on that. And honestly, I'm thinking we're starting to see the effects of that now. I think Rangnick does have a lot more control than anybody actually believes he does. This malarkey about people upstairs saying you can't have this, you can't have that, it's a load of rubbish. Rangnick's in there for one reason only. He was never coming in to manage the club full time. He was never coming in to do that. He was coming in to assess the club and get it ready for whoever's coming in to take that club forward.
Tobes, do you think Man United are any better since Ollie's been sacked?
No, I don't, and I think it's been disappointing, to be honest. Because listen, Ralph Rangnick hadn't managed the team in at least over a decade, yeah. So I don't think anyone was expecting Ralph Rangnick to come in and be challenging with Man City and Liverpool, but we expected something, right? And I like Ralph. I like Ralph. From what I read up about him, I remember when we didn't have a manager last summer, I thought, you know what? Based on what this guy's actually done and his knowledge when it comes to the backroom side of things, I thought maybe he could be a decent stopgap in the interim until we actually have a proper plan in place. And I felt like he could do something like that for Man United. I think he came into the team when Man United had a reasonable run of games where he could sort of bed his style in and pick up as many points as possible. And I'm not going to lie, I think for the first, maybe not straight away, the first couple of games, it was still out of sorts. It was really, really out of sorts. But I remember a period where Man United actually looked a little bit better. They looked like they were creating more chances. They looked like they were getting some more attempts on goal. It looked like he was actually beginning to instill some sort of a tactical plan with his team. But what has gone on since then has just been a mess, and it's not a mess of his own making. It's not entirely down to him. I think he's lost some players to injury. Some players are just not good enough. Some players just haven't picked up form. Some players who did pick up form, they've just dropped off a cliff. But I think the base level of coaching that we've seen from Ralph Rangnick, especially over the last 4 or 5 weeks, have just been abject. Like, you're looking on a football pitch and you can't really see what he's trying to do here. Like, I don't know whether Man United are trying to set up defensively. I don't know whether Man United are trying to set up for a high press. I don't know whether they're trying to play a possession-based game. It's just too haphazard. It seems like a lot of people don't know what they're doing on a football pitch.
That was the Liverpool game, Tobes, so wasn't it? The formation he set up was the Liverpool game. You know, 5 at the back with Wan-Bissaka one side, Dalot the next, swapping and bringing in Phil Jones. You're bringing in Phil Jones to play against one of the league's best clubs. I get he coming against Wolves and had a really good game, but for me that was his send off. That's it, done. You've got Eric Bailly on the bench. Fully fit Eric Bailly.
Yeah,
10 times better, isn't he?
It didn't make sense, and I think that's the one thing that I think goes against Ralph. No matter what you think of Man United's team, no matter how poor those players have performed, his decisions that he's taken with what he's got available just hasn't made enough sense in the past couple of weeks. And when you couple that with Man United's results, it's just not been good enough. So to cut a long story short, Man United, I did not expect them to be as bad as they have been. They've been terrible. They've been absolutely terrible. Two, they've got a lot of players there who aren't as good as I thought they were. And 3, whilst Ralph serves way more of a purpose behind the scenes than on the front lines at the moment, the work he's done on the front lines in the dugout for the past couple of weeks, at the very least, has just not been good enough.
Yeah, no, I'm totally with you. Judges, is that it for Man United for top 4 race now, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think that that defeat was probably a tough one. I think they got Chelsea in the week, so we'll see how it goes from there. It's just been a total, I don't know, just a poor show from Manchester United this time. Like, I don't know what the answer was. I don't think Rangnick was the answer. I don't think that Ollie was the answer. They should have got in the man that they wanted, and the Manchester United are a big enough club to do that. The fact of the matter is that agree with some of the points Toby and Dan made there. The one thing is they've not put in a performance. By the way, that's the best performance I've seen Manchester United play. I thought they was unlucky against us, if I'll be honest, for a very, very long while. I don't see a performance like when they beat Spurs 3-0 when Ollie was there. I've not seen a performance like that since he's come in. I think Toby made a great point that I think they sacked Ollie on the fact is that they had some winnable games after for him to come in and bed down. Didn't win any of those games, lost them or drew them. And then when the big games come up, he's fallen short. I think it's been an absolute disaster for an appointment, if I'll be honest, from results wise and things like that. Certainly didn't get the reaction that he wanted. Yes, he might have got some inside information why he's in there, but in saying that inside information, I could tell you that information from the outside. You know what I mean? Like Pogba's not going to be there again. Don't know what's happening in a minute. Agreeing with Toby, but like players there that I thought were decent players, have just not been there. Wan-Bissaka for being one of them that I thought was going to be a top right back. What the hell's gone there? Bruno has just fallen off of the face of the earth with his performances. I would say that with all the Man United played, like Shaw was the best left back going into after the Euros, best left back in Europe. You know what I mean? Like you wouldn't put him nowhere near that category now. Like you know what I mean? Harry Maguire, another one falling off a cliff. Varane. A lot of people said, "Oh, what a fantastic signing he was going to be." Injured, you know what I mean? Like playing in the Premier League's different to playing in Spain. Not been a success so far. Doesn't mean to say he's not going to be, but at this moment in time, doesn't look good. Then I look at the midfield. McTominay, I think, is a very, very good squad player. If I'll be honest, not top-notch Man United player. Fred, I think, who's been much maligned, has been their best player in midfield. Pogba, well. You know what I mean? Like a player that I think all of us would love to have in their team. But would you have him the way his current attitude and whatever is going at the moment? No. Cavani's not done nothing since he signed for the year, but whether that was because he was being forced for another year. Ronaldo's come in. Whatever you say about Ronaldo is delivered. But I have to say with Ronaldo, he didn't do a lot on the game on Saturday, but scored. Sancho's another one. I'm going to say this. I rate that. I thought he was looked very, very lively. But it took him half a season to get into the team. He should, like chased him for 2 years or a year and a half, and then left him on the bench for 6 months. It's just been an absolute shocking show from top to bottom. It needs taking and sorting again, and I hope it takes a little bit longer than 2.5 years. It's Mikel Arteta.
Fair play. Dan United, let me get the last say from you on Man United before we do move on. Where do you go from here in terms of Ten Hag now? Like, I mean, the season, like you said, you've pretty much written it off. Like, is it an exciting project now in the summer to clear out and start again? Or is it like the nerves are kicking, you don't really know what way it's going to go like?
Well, can it get any worse, Dan? Barton into Everton and possibly getting relegated. I think a lot of Man United fans, myself, massively. I'm really excited. The second it was nailed on that we were getting Ten Hag, because for a second there I thought we were getting Poch, and I was a bit. I've never fancied Poch at United. I'm not saying Poch is a bad coach. Poch has done some great things in his career, but I wanted Ten Hag, and the second it was nailed on that we were getting him, it just filled me with that bit of hope, really. I think they played a blinder in announcing him 2 days after that shit show against Liverpool, because the fans were absolutely furious after that performance. Announcing that, it almost shielded what an awful performance that was. But I liken it to, and I won't take too much of your time. I liken it to when you see a beautiful house, your dream house, and you have it built, and you go into the bathroom and you think bathroom looks all right. But then the tiles start falling off, and the floor starts coming up, and the bath's got a crack in it. You get a proper builder in who rips the fucking lot out to brick and starts again, and that is exactly what I'm hoping Ten Hag will do. He needs to be given the time. Next season, we're nowhere near going to be going for top 3 even. But next year for me is about getting rid of the players that we know. And as Lee quite rightly said, we all know what players need to leave United. It's about getting rid of those players, bringing in some players that will give the performance, and not the ones that are going to sell the shirts, the shirts with the names on the back. It's getting those players in who will work hard, who will be in the trenches, giving everything. And it's that transition then, getting them back to where they need to be. This isn't going to be a quick fix. And any Man United fan who was sitting there thinking Ten Hag's going to come in and we're going to be challenging for the title next season is deluded. It is going to be a long, long haul, but hopefully one that in 2 years' time, maybe 2.5 years' time, I'll be sat here saying, "Look at this! Look at where we are now. That pain we took for that season was all worth it."
Yeah, I think you're looking at it realistically, bro. I can't lie. It's going to take a lot of time and a lot of work for Ten Hag. And if I'm honest with you, I feel a little bit sorry for him because it isn't a very pleasant job. And it's a massive job at that. Lawless, let's come to you. Let's talk West Ham. Mate, one eye on the Europa League, of course. The Premier League done and dusted for you now in terms of this season, and just look towards Europa League, do you think? I mean, I'm saying that because I hope, because obviously we've got you next and I want to see a reserve team out so that we can beat you. But what are your thoughts now for the rest of the season as far as West Ham are concerned, bro?
This is the first time I'm going to officially say this, that West Ham are out of the top 4 race. I think Burnley, that was the point, where we dropped points against Burnley, where I started to think, because I always thought, even though it didn't feel likely, I had to say we're in the race. Like, we was all, as long as we were like 3-4 points off and there was still enough games to go, I always felt like we was in the race. And mathematically, we're not out of it, but you have to look, not enough games left. We're in the Europa League. Like you said, the squad is what it is now. So we're definitely at that race. And I think what Moyes looks to be doing is kind of like what Mourinho done with Man United when they was going for Europa League and just decided, I'm putting all my eggs in this basket. If we fall out of European places, we fall out. We've got to go try and make it happen through winning this trophy. And it showed that against Chelsea, that team he put out. I was shocked because that's the first time he's done that. He hasn't really rotated the team. He's played the same team, full strength Europa League. And that was a bit of a criticism where people were like, oh, do you know what? Can't you just rest like Antonio for this league game or that league game? But he was determined to play full strength in both, because obviously if we get knocked out of Europa League, you kind of still want to be in them European places. But as we get closer, he's like, no, let's just put all our eggs in this basket. And we saw we're down to bare bones as well, squad-wise. The Zuma injury was a big blow. Then Diop getting injured, and then now Dawson getting suspended. We have no available senior centre backs for the league. And so whether he's going to play Creswell and Johnson, 2 fullbacks in centre back for the Arsenal, or he's actually going to finally trust the youngsters, which he hasn't really done. We'll see. But so Thursday is the be all and end all. Winning this Europa League now, I think we're not going to put any focus unless we get knocked out, unless we lose to Frankfurt. Then he'll start going and seeing what we can gain. But boy, I just really hope we can do good tomorrow. Obviously, Dawson is available, but missing Zuma is a tough pill to swallow. So we just have to try and outscore the other team, because our defense is going to be mad.
Yeah, it really is. Judges, are West Ham in the position where we were in, or we probably have been in the last couple of seasons, and they just got to concentrate on the Europa League now?
100%. You've got a great chance. They've got more chance of getting into the Champions League than via the league. Like, you know what I mean? So they've got to do. I think they'd be crazy not to. Listen, I think it was you that said it the other day. The Conference League has got Roma in it, Marseille in it. They've got a chance. The teams that's left in the Europa League, they're never going to have a better chance to get into a Champions League final and win it. I don't care what anybody says. Difficult game against Frankfurt, but at the end of the day, to get into the Champions League, you've got to beat Frankfurt, possibly Rangers or Leipzig. You think about it, to get into the Champions League in the English league, you've got to go via Manchester City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, Tottenham. Come on. They've got an opportunity here to really get a good chance of getting it. I think if they play it right, listen, he rested players against Chelsea.
I think he'd do it against Arsenal. You know, Tottenham can moan about that or whatever. But Tottenham are in the same position because Leicester, I think, will do exactly the same. For Leicester are very much in the same sort of boat as West Ham. They're not going to really get anywhere. Their best way of getting into the Europa League is to win the Conference League. You know,
Yeah, on that, Lee, I was speaking to a Leicester fan yesterday actually, and he was saying like we're all buzzing for this competition because our season's been trash, and they're all going for that competition to get into Europe.
Yeah.
So you're right. You're right.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think that there's a real good chance that they've got a good chance of winning that, as same as West Ham. But I still, you know, they've got to get through Roma. West Ham, I think, have got a great chance. But what they don't want to do, and this is the thing, we had it a couple of years ago when we went to Man United. A cup went in between Atletico Madrid. What about if West Ham play it's 1-1 against Frankfurt or 2-1 or whatever it is? He plays Rice, he plays Antonio, just for instance, them two get injured and then they go out against Frankfurt. They'd be, you know, going mad about it, like, you know what I mean? So what they've got to do is just forget about the Arsenal. Just let the Arsenal just come in, just take the points and breeze off. It's more important that they get that result against Frankfurt. And do you know what? As an Arsenal fan, I hope they do. And I hope they get to the final. And I hope they win it. But
do you know, I think you should be worried, Lee, just on that, actually, because you're right. I think we will do that. But this is why you should be worried. Because we saw it against Chelsea, that even though he did rest, you know, like the Declan Rices, the Bowens and all of that, I think what he's obviously going to come into that game knowing is, okay, look, we're giving up a lot here in terms of quality. And what we're going to have to do now then is be a lot more compact. So we're going to play a lot more defensive. So you're going to have to really break us down. And obviously goals has been a difficulty for your team. So you're going to have to...
I get that. But also, Dan, and I mean this sincerely, like, it's 1-1. The players that are playing, they ain't going to want to get injured neither. They're going to have one eye on it. Like, do you know what I mean? I know that they haven't so much in that thing. Like, you know, I know they're professionals and all that. Like, but ultimately, you know, if it's 1-1, 2-1 to West Ham, which I think that's what it'd be, probably one goal in it. You've got an opportunity to go into the Europa League final. You don't want to be chasing 50-yard ball to try and chase down, I don't know, Eddie, and like doing your hamstring and being out, not just for the semi-final, but the final as well if you get there. So, listen, this is, you know, I don't know what West Ham are going to do. I know that, you know, they're professionals, so they're going to try their best. But ultimately, if you're going to take on West Ham away, you know, you ain't going to get a better chance with it in between this semi-final. And, you know, I was praying that when it went 1-1 against Lyon and they had this player sent off, I was going, oh, no, like, come on, West Ham. They've done very, very well to get that. And then when they romped it home in the second leg, I was more than delighted because I knew that this game... And I'm going to tell you this now. If Arsenal or Arsenal or Tottenham do not win these games in the week, then they do not deserve to be in the Champions League because they've got no better opportunity than to be playing Leicester and West Ham in this week. I'm sorry.
Fair enough, Lee. Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely spot on. Tobbs, you're shaking your head when Lee said he wants West Ham to win. And I've got to say, banter aside, bro, I'm with you. I don't want West Ham to win this competition because that means they've won a European Cup before we have. So I don't want that to be happening. So, listen, banter aside, you said they had no chance. I said they had a chance. Do you take that back now? I think they have got a chance of winning this.
Apologise to Dan Potts, Apologise to Dan Potts because it was on this show a while back where he said, I think West Ham have got a chance. You said, no, West Ham have got no chance of winning that. You said, West Ham have got no chance. And you was really adamant about that. So I think you should apologise to Dan Potts on the show first and then go into backtrack and say I was wrong. West Ham do have a chance. The floor is yours, man.
I'm apologising for fuck all. Fuck you. I'm not apologizing for shit. Frankfurt will get the job done, and if they don't get the job done, then Leipzig will. Then simple. So let's see what happens. And if I lose, then I'm even more muddied if you win it. But for now, I'm not apologizing for shit because you ain't won it yet. So,
but we have a chance, though. We have a chance.
I don't care. You ain't won it yet, so it's cool. You ain't won it yet.
We have a chance to win it. What's the percentage?
I don't care.
Come on.
Whatever. I don't care. Put whatever percentage you want. Still ain't gonna fucking win it, so it's cool. It's cool. It's cool.
God.
So
Please.
Yeah, I think Lee is just pandering. Lee's pandering to West Ham fans now because he wants to win on the weekend, right? I promise you, if West Ham beat Arsenal on the weekend, Lee won't be saying I want them to win the Europa.
No, if they fucking,
I promise you.
straight up, so if they beat us, I fucking hope they get stuffed. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
now,
exactly. You see,
If we beat you, Lee, you've got to look. You've got to really look at yourselves in the mirror.
Yes, we have. We certainly have. I
Oh,
will
yeah.
look at myself. I will look at Arsenal and 100%. But at this moment in time, if we win I'll be honest. If we win on Sunday, I'm going to say I do hope that West Ham win it, because not only that, West Ham have always been decent to us. That they done the lasagna gate for us a few years ago. There's no animosity between Arsenal and West Ham. We get on. So at the end of the day, and also I'm going to say it now. I don't want Tottenham fans bantering about not winning trophies. That's the only thing they banter about. But if they win that Europa League, the old Spurs fans can't banter about that neither. So 3 points on Sunday for
that'll be
us.
their first trophy in what, 50 years or something like that, 40-something years.
Oh, leave it out. What have you been winning? This is the thing.
No, but I don't speak about Spurs about winning. But your fans talk to us about trophy. I don't speak about Spurs about winning.
A lot of your fans tell us about, oh yeah, you haven't won this and you ain't won that.
No. I don't even care about that stuff. I only bring that stuff up when you and your fans try to talk to me about, oh, where's your trophies? All you know, the only way you lot can win trophies is if you're playing in the second tier division of football, of English football. So
yeah. Yeah, we're in the semi-final, and where are you, mate?
Yeah, you are.
What are you up to tomorrow night?
Bro, I'm not trying to load anything over you. You're in a semi-final. Congrats! Like, you've actually done really well to get to a European semi-final. I think it's something that we've not done in that competition. We've been in the UEFA Cup, UEFA Europa League, or whatever for years now, and we've never got to the semis. So, we've never got to the semis in my lifetime. So, props to you. But when I'm hearing your fans talk to us about trophies, I'm like, this doesn't even make sense here. Like, you're throwing stones.
We're not doing that to say we're bigger than you because you ain't won trophies. What we're trying to do is, when you're looking down at us, sticking your chest out, we're trying to remind you, you don't have the trophies to be doing that. Like, we're trying to say, like,
we don't need trophies to look down on you. Yeah.
But you have.
We don't need trophies to look down on West Ham. I'm not even trying to change this into a Spurs v West Ham thing, but we don't need trophies to look down. You've literally been relegated twice. Why are we talking about this? You've been relegated.
Man City have been relegated
in my lifetime. There's no comparison to be made. It's your fans that are always reaching. There's no comparison to be made. And I'm not saying there's no comparison because Spurs are this elite team. We're not. We're not an elite we're actually a better side and better institution than West Ham. We are. It's like me saying Spurs are better than Spurs are a bigger institution than Arsenal and Chelsea. I would never say these things. No matter how much I go to Arsenal, I'll never say these things.
They have the accolades, Tobes, to for you to be able to not make that claim. The point is, okay, so you have been more successful in terms of Champions League this recently, but there's not this big gap where you can sit there and look down on us, and go, you're not on our level. You just got to be more humble. You've got to have some more humility. Tobes.
It's your fans that are always chucking it, bro. Whenever I speak on Twitter, it's your fans that are giving it large to me. I'm not seeking West Ham fans. I couldn't give a monkeys about West Ham. I genuinely couldn't care.
Yeah, okay.
I don't like your club. I'm not going out looking for ways. Oh, how can I get one up on these West Ham fans? You're
literally sitting there praying that we get knocked out. You've been supporting every team that we have faced. You celebrate.
I don't like you.
Spurs had won the league.
I don't want you to win.
You was like Ndombele, like Spurs.
The game is the game. I don't want you to win. I don't like West Ham as a club. So what's wrong with that?
No, but
when we were in the Champions League final against Liverpool, did you want us to win?
No, I did. Yeah, of course I did.
Did you actively want Liverpool to win?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, then. So what's the issue?
No, I'm not saying that's an issue, but you're downplaying it. That's the point. Dan doesn't want us to win. He said it, but he's not there going, oh my God, come on, Ndombele, yeah. Oh, Leon, oh yeah, Frankfurt. Like, he's just
Ndombele's a player. What are you talking about? Of course I'm going to celebrate it. He's literally a Tottenham player.
Come on, man.
He's literally a Tottenham player. What are you talking about, bro?
He's not even wearing your shirt. Nah, man. You're trying to downplay it.
He's a Spurs player, and the great Ndombele that you sat on as well. You called him a flop. It was funny.
Where is he now? Where is he now in Ndombele?
All I'm saying is it was funny seeing him score against you anyway. But listen, let's not.
Tobes, are you gonna celebrate when Dele Alli scores finally? Tobes, are you gonna celebrate because he's still your player?
He's not a player.
He's still. What do you mean?
He's on loan, isn't he?
No, he's gone there permanently.
No. It's not. He's not because he's got.
He went. Bro, who's gonna know more about this deal?
I'm just saying. I thought it was.
I'm telling you, he's a
permanent. Maybe I got that wrong then.
He's a permanent Everton player. We sold him on a free initially, and on certain conditions that will rise to around 10.
Yeah, right. So that's exactly right. Yeah, it is a free transfer,
and then so we
sold and it will stay a free transfer.
He ain't our player. But I'll never apologize for saying fuck West Ham.
I will say this, guys. I will say this. You've got to give West Ham a bit of credit for the way they destroyed Lyon in Lyon. I have to say, like, it was.
Yeah, definitely.
It was an unbelievable performance. I will have to say that. Like, I didn't see that coming, but they absolutely destroyed them. So fair play to West Ham for that.
Let's move on. Let's talk about the two teams that are going. Go on. Now go on, Dan. Go for it.
I've got to tell you this. So West Ham last won the trophy when?
1980.
Against who?
Arsenal.
Thanks for keeping that one quiet, Dan. I didn't want to say anything.
At least we got to the final, though. That's what Spurs fans say about the Champions League. That's all.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
There you go.
Love that, man. Right, let's move on to Arsenal and to Spurs. Let's do this together. Looks like it's just us two now. 5 games to go. Some were saying that Tottenham had the easier fixtures. I think we won our hard fixtures. So let's start with Arsenal and then we'll come to Tobes. Lawless. Arteta. You had your doubts. You weren't convinced. We've got 2 great wins against Chelsea and United. Does he deserve credit? And do you think that Arsenal are now in the driving seat again for this top 4?
Look, I know there's a lot of Arsenal fans who watch this. There's a lot of Arteta fans. When you're winning, he has a strong amount of support. And they're not going to like me saying this, but I wouldn't sit there and give him a massive amount of credit for those 2 games particularly. Of course, there were games that you didn't expect to win, but I think Chelsea threw in the towel near enough with that lineup. I don't know what they were thinking with that lineup. They pretty much said, there you go and have it. And then they played a stronger lineup against us on Sunday. It's like they rested players for us. So you had that situation. And then obviously the Man United game, like Lee was saying, Man United on the balance probably were the better team. They obviously had the handball incident, but at the same time, their players are so self-destructive. Like Bruno was terrible. So I can't see it and look and go, he's turned a corner from them 3 bad results. If they are, at the end of the day, you got the 3 points, but I'm not going to sit here and turn around and be like, oh no, he's proven himself. Like first of all, he has to get this over the line now because every team that has been chasing for this is like actively, it seems like they're trying not to get 4th. Spurs honestly, every time you think they're going to go on a run, they throw it away. People like the path has been laid out before him so many times, opportunity after opportunity. Have it, Arsenal. Have it, Arteta. Take that 4th place. And if he keeps finding ways to mess it up, I say this, he has to go. He must achieve that. Obviously, you are in the driving seat. Tottenham, honestly, I don't know what they're doing at the moment. I was really, really shocked, really, by like the Brentford game and these results because you thought they've got goals, they're going to start banging, but they've been struggling to score. So Arsenal now, again, like they're facing us on Sunday. You have to win that game because we're in between the 2 Frankfurt legs. We're not going to care at all about that fixture. So that's like basically an easy 3 points. I think because Lee's counterpoint to me was a good point. What you said earlier about the players that will be playing in the cup will probably have their eyes on that. So there will be less people busting a gut. But yeah, and then you've got other favourable fixtures. That you've got Everton, you've got Leeds, who aren't as leaky as before, but still quite leaky. So you should get that. But should is a big thing. I've always said this. I've said this for weeks and months. It's on the North London derby, I think.
Yeah, you have said that, to be fair.
You could be 5 points clear by then, but I just think the momentum that could take, the shift of losing that game, and whoever wins that, I think that could give people a really good momentum in them last few games. So, but yeah, you have to say that you're in the driving seat now, 2 points clear.
Dan United, you were praising Arsenal on here, saying, "Do you know what? I'm kind of seeing a turnaround. I think they're going to get top four." And then we didn't do a show, but it was like loss, loss, loss. It's like looked like we've thrown it away. What's your thoughts on Arteta and Arsenal right now? Do you think we're in the driving seat?
Well, do you remember what I said in that show? I said it was just before Palace, and I said Palace is a massive game, massive game.
Yeah,
and
you did.
The result come, and it was horrendous. Do you know what? The honest answer is I don't think we'll truly know who's going to get fourth until you guys meet. I think that derby is going to be one of the biggest derbies of recent years. There is so much riding on this. There is so much potential for you guys to go on a run. There's so much potential for Spurs to go on a run. But I think the way that they're playing at the moment, the result. I mean, the result against United was what it was. But the result against Chelsea was massive. Absolutely massive. If you didn't win that, I honestly, I said to my friend, I said, they're out. They'll be out of the top four race for me because it would have been 4 losses in a row. Was it 4? I think that would have been the first time you'd have had that since, I think it was 95 or something like that. It was a ridiculous run. So the fact that we've turned the tide a little bit, getting those 2 results has helped, but I just see this going down to that derby day. I really do. Whoever wins that will go on and get top 4. It's exciting. I mean, for me now as a United fan, being out of the race, I can actually sit back and enjoy what it is going to be this top 4 race, because at the moment it is like just pound for pound. 1 week Spurs are smashing it, the next week Arsenal are coming back. The other thing for me as well is, imagine if you'd have picked those points up with Spurs dropping the points they did. You'd have been out of sight by now. We wouldn't be having this conversation. It would be done. As simple as that. But as we love football, strange things happen. And I think with what you have done is left the door open for Spurs. You've got to remember as well, Spurs were out of this conversation a few weeks ago, Tobes, weren't they? You know, they were out of this conversation. They'd hit dire form. We had the situation, Conte coming out saying, well, maybe they should get rid of me. Something's clicked there. The last 2 results haven't been the best, but they've put themselves in a situation now where it's like 2 heavyweight boxers going pound for pound. And I'm really excited to watch it for the rest of the season because God knows it'll be better than what I'm going to be watching. So,
well, let's come in on that before I bring Tobes and Lee in. Let me just ask Lawless and Dan United this as a comment. Who do Lawless and Dan want 4th place to go to? Arsenal or Spurs? Lawless.
Yeah, obviously. Look, the idea of West Ham getting Europa League and Arsenal get 4th and Spurs fans and Tobes suffering even more is quite salivating to enjoy. There are a lot of Arsenal fans that do get on my nerves. You know, Arsenal fans, aside from obviously you, Lee, Robbie, and like Kenny Ken, those sort of fans. There are the ones that just get so carried away that do annoy me. That there are going to be very loud and vocal and annoying, but that over Spurs fans and Tobes suffering, I'd have to say Arsenal. Innit?
Fair play. Dan United, what about you, bro?
Well, so Tobes, don't beat me up for this because it's not about Spurs for this. This is about the Conte situation. I think regardless, I think Conte's gone anyway end of the season. I think he'll go to PSG. So for the fact of the project of looking what Arteta could do, I'm interested to see what Arteta will do if he gets top 4 and the players he'll bring in and the style of football that will keep growing. So for me, it's Arsenal that I want, but mainly because I just don't see Conte being at Spurs next season. And I kind of feel like, well, what's the point? You know, you've got another guy coming in then who's picking up the pieces from him and we start again. So for me, just to see where the project's going to go, I want Arteta to get it just to see who he brings in and how he manages the team going forward. And kind of likely alluded to in the video we saw at the start, what he does with the young players and how they react to Champions League football.
Interesting. Let's come to Tobes first, and then we'll let judges have the last say on this North London battle. Tobes, where's your head at with this at the moment, man? This is a very odd situation we're going to see in the next 5 games.
Yeah, it's mad because when was the last video we did? It was before Crystal Palace, right?
Yeah, it was.
I was still saying that Arsenal can get it, but I'm not gonna lie. It's weird. I can't remember how many points off you we were. I think it was it might have been 3 or 6. I can't remember. But I actually I feel some level of confidence that we can still get top 4. You know, I can't even lie. I think our form over the past probably 8 or 9 games has been really, really good. Like I know the last 2 games have not been the best, but when you look at it in totality, last 9 matches we've won 6. We've won 6 out of our last 9 matches. So, and out of those 9 matches, we've only lost twice to Man United and to Brighton. Like Dan said, it's gonna go up and down. I think Arsenal, yeah, they went to Chelsea and they got an unexpected result. Cool, but they also lost to Southampton. They also lost to Brighton at home. They also got hammered by Crystal Palace away. And before anyone talks to me about injuries, Thomas Partey played against Crystal Palace when you got slammed 3-0. You can talk to me about Kieran Tierney, but Tavares played a lot of football for Arsenal in the early part of the season when Arsenal were picking up results anyway. So what we've seen is that there are vulnerabilities to both sides. Like
Tottenham are definitely vulnerable now. They haven't got no Matt Doherty and Oliver Skip, bro. I mean, how are you gonna manage this?
You've been throwing this out there, and I don't know why as well. Like I don't know why you're so affected by the injury news. You tell me what is it? Is it Spurs fans that are telling you that they're like?
Spurs fans are now. It's dealt a massive blow to Spurs' chances of top 4, is what I'm hearing from Tottenham fans, because Matt Doherty and Oliver Skip are out. I mean, do me a favour, Tobes. They are squad players at best, the pair of them.
Yeah, you say that, but they are squad players for Matt Doherty's case. But Oliver Skip has been a starter. He's every single game he's been available to play this.
Would he get ahead of Bentancur and Højbjerg?
He'd start ahead of Højbjerg. Bro, I'm telling you, listen to what I'm saying. Oliver Skip, before Bentancur came in, had probably started the same, if not more amount of games as Højbjerg in the Premier League this season. Oliver Skip being injured, listen, I'm not comparing it to Thomas Partey. I'm not saying that our top 4 hopes cling on to Skip, but if a Spurs fan is aggrieved that Oliver Skip is out for the rest of the season, they should be. When our only when we've literally let 2 midfielders go in January. Oh my God! You know what? I'm gonna stop talking. because you don't get it. You don't get it. It's fine. I don't really look at the injuries as an excuse for top 4. If you don't get top 4, it's because you've not been good enough and the manager's not been good enough. Yeah. But back on the race. Yeah, I think it's too easy to just say, oh yeah, Arsenal are just going to get it now. No, it's not that predictable. West Ham, we're talking about West Ham and all their injuries, etc., etc. But West Ham haven't lost at home in like 3 months. The last time they lost a home game in all competitions was against Leeds, and that was back in January. So Arsenal are going to West Ham away, where the onus is on them to win. West Ham are going to be resting players. West Ham are probably looking to try and contain Arsenal. And who's to say that Arsenal will break him down? Look at what happened with Chelsea on the weekend. Yeah. And I'm not just saying this to say that Spurs are going to win all their games. Listen, we play Leicester, and the way Leicester play, it suits Tottenham more than West Ham's way of playing suits Arsenal. But as you've seen against Brentford and Brighton, teams are cutting on to the fact that if you pack the midfield and put a man on Harry Kane and we don't have a good day, then you can stop Spurs. So all of this talk about, Arsenal are going to get it now, it's for me, it's dumb, because I fully expect Arsenal to drop points again this season. And I'm not just talking about the North London derby. I expect Arsenal to drop points in at least 2 more matches this season. And I expect Spurs to drop points in at least 2 more matches. It's just the type of result we'll get.
Do you know what, Tobes? The last, just having a quick look now, last game of the season, Arsenal at home to Everton. Now, Everton will still be. I mean, that is potentially a tough game, because if Everton are still where they are, that game is. They're going to give everything. Spurs away at Norwich. That's. I mean, for contrasting effects there. I kind of feel like. I mean. If they draw, so if you draw in the North London derby and there's still 2 or 3 points in it, that's massive. And Arsenal not looking. I didn't realise this. Arsenal are away at Newcastle the game before that. Nobody wants to play Newcastle at the moment, do they? Newcastle are on such a run of form. Unreal.
No, you're right. You are right, and this could get to the last game. It could. It really could. You don't know what's going to happen. Twists and turns. Let me ask judges this, man. Looking at the last 5 games, judges, would you rather have Arsenal's fixtures or Tottenham's? Because people were very vocal about Arsenal having the toughest run, but Tottenham have got to go to Anfield. Obviously, and we've got to go to West Ham, but at the moment it's looking like that's a little bit easy. I don't want to say it, but I'm going to say it. It's supposed to be easier now that they got some players out. Like, whose fixtures would you rather have, judges?
Arsenal's, because if Arsenal win the next 3 games, they'll probably be in the Champions League. They will be in the Champions League. If
You think so?
Yeah, because I think
one of the 3 games is against Spurs, but you're not going to beat us at our ground.
So, Toby, I love you, but you also said West Ham wouldn't be in the Europa League semi-final.
I did. You're right. It's true. So it's fine. I say a lot of things, but you're not going to.
I know you do, and I agree. You make a fantastic pina colada, but your prediction is not the greatest. So we go from there. What I'm saying is that listen, Arsenal's next 2 games are massively important. I'll tell you why. Because they're winnable. West Ham is winnable. I don't care what. I agree with what Toby said. Under normal circumstances, this would be a real tough game, and I'm not buttering that up. That would be because West Ham are a very good side, but ultimately they've got one eye on a different and bigger fish to fry than that. So I think it makes it a more chance that we can win that. We've got Leeds at home. I'm sorry if you've got Leeds at home are struggling down the bottom. You've got to beat them. Then Tottenham's next 2 games is Leicester. I fully expect Tottenham to beat Leicester, for the same reasons that what I've just said about Arsenal and West Ham. Then they go to Liverpool. And if they beat Liverpool, fair play to them, because that would be a difficult game. If they don't beat Liverpool, it means then if we beat Tottenham at White Hart Lane, we get Champions League football. So these 2 next games put tremendous pressure on Tottenham. Now, in saying that, if you'd have said to me a week ago, this time last week, that we'd beat Chelsea and we'd beat Man United, and Tottenham would get 1 point from Brentford and Brighton, I would have laughed at you. I said, don't be stupid. It's not going to happen. So predicting football games at this moment in time is a waste of time. Yeah. It's a waste of time because I'm not, anything can happen. I don't know what is going to happen in these next couple of games, and that's how I feel at the moment. I'm hoping and praying that Arsenal can do the business on Sunday, see where it takes us from there. I don't know how it's going to go because do you know what? I think Toby said it earlier on. Realistically, both teams have got faults. They're both inconsistent, and I honestly, you wouldn't back a lot of money on each one of them, because you wouldn't know where if you're going to win or lose your money. At this moment, this time last week, Tottenham fans were thinking that they were in the Champions League. I think I did as well. To be honest, I thought that they got it. Now it's turned around the other way. Too many unexpected things can happen. Too many twists and turns. Just see how it goes, boy. If Arsenal have just got to turn up in the next couple of games, see where we go from there. Listen, I'm going to be tuning on Liverpool for that game against Spurs. But I will say this. If any team can beat Liverpool, it's Tottenham. And the reason that they can beat them is because they're the best counter-attacking team that they are. Spurs struggle when they've got to break teams down. But when it's counter-attacking football, that they're good. And tell you what, Liverpool play a very, very high line. So it will be a very, very nervous sort of a game. And if Spurs were to win that, it changes again. So everybody's expecting Spurs to drop points here. So we'll see. We'll see.
We will.
The good thing is, from our point of view, if we beat West Ham, we can sit there and see what Liverpool and Tottenham do before we go out against Leeds. So, listen, these next 2 games are vital for both clubs. Vital.
Yeah, goal difference early as well. Goal difference. Tottenham have got a better goal difference than Arsenal. Yeah. I just wonder if that will come into play as well come the end of the season.
I think we've
it could do. With those, especially with those, if we don't win one of those games against Leeds and West Ham, it could well do because Newcastle's going to be a tough game. As I say, I don't know. I get nervous thinking about it. Just one game at a time, gentlemen, please.
One game at a time.
Yeah.
Listen, Lawless. Go on, Tobes. Go on, Tobes.
No, I was going to say, I think with us, it's a must. The Leicester game is a must win. I think the Leicester game. If we lose that Leicester game, so if we lose and Arsenal beat West Ham, then I think I can actually say, yeah, I don't see Spurs getting top four, because then we're leaving ourselves with way too much to do. Like you're basically saying you have to beat Liverpool away, then you have to beat Arsenal away, at home, and then you have to win the rest of your games, and then hope Arsenal drop points in at least 2 more fixtures. It's yeah, you're asking for a lot. So we have to win against Leicester. If we don't win against Leicester, I think top four is done. That's what I'll say.
Yeah. No, listen, it could be like that, to be fair. I've got a couple of super chats to read out in a minute, but Lawless, I know you've got to go in a minute, so I want to bring you in. Who's going to get 4th place for you, and what does it mean to either side if one does get it and one doesn't? And what I mean by that is what happens to managers, what happens to the club, how important is it for both these clubs to get 4th is what I'm trying to get at.
Do you know what? And I think Lee just said it perfectly. Trying to predict games of football, it's near enough impossible. It's so hard for me to call it. But I think, like a lot of people have alluded, Conte could definitely walk if Spurs don't get top 4. That's a real possibility. There's links with PSG and all this other stuff for him. So that could have a big impact of them having to first look for a manager, then try and get new signings in, maybe deal with Harry Kane madness again. Arsenal, it's a weird one because obviously they need top 4. You guys need top 4 to then try and attract bigger players because you've got such a young squad. You need big experienced players. But then at the same time, if you get it, you have to keep it. And that's going to be the interesting thing, because as it is now, you do not have what it takes, I think, to sustain a decent run in that league. You're going to need to spend a lot of money and get them signings on point. So the pressure will go to the summer. So it's almost, I think, more important for Spurs to get it in a way, just in terms of keeping Conte and things like that. I think if you guys miss out and get Europa League, you could potentially finally get rid of Arteta and get in that, find a top class manager out there that you can get with experience. That's a high level that can really take you to the next level, because I think there's a ceiling on Arteta.
Lawless, just before you go, mate, quick one. If you do win the Europa League and you get Champions League football, do you think that keeps Rice at the club?
I think so. I think that he will sign it. If we win Europa League, obviously we're in the Champions League, and if we have a good transfer window, he signs a new deal for me. He obviously wants to see ambition from the owners. Yeah. That's what it's going to take, I think. Otherwise, we'll stay and we'll see what happens. But it's huge for us getting Champions League as well. We're at the moment, saying what I said about Arsenal, we're not in a state where we can probably sustain a decent run in that competition. But it helps cement us as a team around those places, and helps us push on. So it's all to play for, guys. It's all to play for all of us. Well, except Man United at the moment. Sorry, man. Sorry, Dan.
Fair play. Lawless,
I'm going to head off.
Listen,
to my stream.
Thank you, bro. You go off to your stream, man. Where can people find you, man?
Yeah, West Ham Fan TV on all platforms, at the Lawless, my own platform, and I'm going to stream Dan Damo and Jace Twitch and all those platforms. So hopefully we can come back at the end of the season. We'll all be having a party and drinking Tobe's tears. Let's get into that.
Lawless, good luck, mate. We'll see you next time, bro. We'll be in touch. Take care, man.
Please see you later, Tobes and Dad.
See ya.
Laters, man. Right. Let's do a couple of these super chats, and then what we will do is we'll have a bit of a quick roundup before we end the stream. First one is from Danny Roberts. Lee, let's put this one to you. Would you say that Mikel Arteta is to Arsenal what Brendan Rodgers was to Liverpool in terms of a rebuild? I think what he means there is Brendan Rodgers is Arteta going to do what Rodgers did, build, nearly get there, but then just have to leave, and then a Jurgen Klopp type figure come in and take Arsenal forward?
Well, that's a good point. I think that Brendan Rodgers just gets a bit of a raw deal when you look at Leicester. He's one slip away from winning the league, wasn't he? There. So, listen. I don't really like it when people judge on other things and whatever, looking at other teams and everything like that. If I'll be honest, Mikel's at this moment in time has got an opportunity to get us to the top 4. If he does that, fair play to him. And I don't really care about anything else, whether other teams have messed it up, he's messed it up, Tottenham have messed it up or whatever. If he gets to top 4, he deserves the credit he gets. If he doesn't, he'd be under pressure going into next year, Dan. There's no two ways about it. Do you know why? because that's how football should be.
Yeah, 100%, mate. Dan United, let's bring this one in for you. This is Chaitanya. Thank you again, Chaitanya. Top man. Man City versus Madrid last night. What an unbelievable game that was. Top quality attacking football. All-time classic. Dan, can Arsenal and Arteta compete at such a level? Do you think?
This season, no. And I'd like to think you'd agree. This season, definitely not. Far too soon. This is where I go back to my point before. If you get the top four, it's who Arteta brings in and the players that he brings in, and how do younger players react. Now, don't get me wrong, these young players could go in the Champions League next season and do something that we don't really hear from footballers anymore. Have fun, really go for it, enjoy their football, and give a good account of themselves. At the moment, you look at City last night, and you look at Madrid. These are top teams. Let's not get this. Let's get this mistaken. These are top teams. These are teams that can turn it on and give entertaining football that sadly I don't get to watch anymore. But Arteta and Arsenal at the moment, definitely not. Again, in the summer with the right players in, who knows? Again, with Champions League, it is a cup competition. Anything can happen in a cup competition, as we know. So not at this present point in time, but I think seeing who you get next season, we'll see.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point, to be honest. Tob, let's bring you in on this one. This is from Francis. Says Arsenal has to simply win 4 or 5 games, and here comes the Champions League. But Spurs need to win all of them, and they can't do that for me. Arsenal for the Champions League.
I don't think that Arsenal have to win all their games.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think they have to win everything, don't we?
Yeah. The gap is only 2 points. I think. Yeah, you literally have to win every game, or at the very least match our results to maintain that buffer. But yeah, listen, Arsenal have the advantage. Like, I feel like you're allowed at least one. I think you can draw. In fact, no, you can't, because if you draw and we win that game in that week, then we're level on points and goal difference. So yeah, literally, Arsenal have to match Tottenham's result. So let's see how it goes.
Yeah, no, I have to agree with that.
The Liverpool game's key for Tottenham. You know,
massive.
Tottenham win that game. It's game on. You know what I mean? It really, really is. If they don't win that game, then it's advantage Arsenal. If Arsenal win those 2 games, like beat West Ham and Leeds, it really is. Saturday night. I'm going to be honest. That Liverpool game's on. I think it's 7:45 kickoff. I think.
Yeah.
I'm not going out. I'm going to stay in and watch that night.
Lee, you made a comment about Liverpool playing high line, and I think this is where Tobes. I don't know if you agree with it. That's where Son comes into his own.
Yeah,
when you play high lines. He is absolutely rapid, and obviously Harry Kane, as we know, can ping a ball better than I've seen for a long time. So that is going to be key as well. That partnership, if that partnership turns up against Liverpool, it's going to be an amazing game. I can't wait for it.
I think with that one. With that one, it's definitely going to be a good game for the neutral. It's going to be a nervous game for me. I think I'm probably going to go to that game as well. Hopefully, I'm a good luck charm, because I saw us beat Leicester and Man City this season, but I also saw us lose to Burnley. So boy, and lose to Palace as well. So two. But anyway, I think with that game, everyone talks about the obvious threat that we possess on the counter, which is true. You got Son and Harry Kane, who will always be able to find the likes of Son and Kulusevski. But it's all about holding out, right? The benefit of Liverpool playing their high line means that they can squeeze us. And for the most part of that game, we will be camped in our half. And if we don't withstand the pressure, they're just gonna batter us. We've seen what they're doing to teams. Like, it's annoying that we're playing Liverpool in a period where they're literally they're chasing the title, because I can't even remember the last time they lost a home game at Anfield. We're asking for Spurs to do mission impossible, but we're in a position now where it's going to have to take some of these unexpected results to get us top 4. So let's see what happens, man. Let's see.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's why that Chelsea game was so important, Dan. We needed
massive.
That was a massive boost to us, because we needed to go somewhere and get a result, and that's what we've done, and that's put us where we are now. Take those 3 points off us, we'll be 1 point behind Chelsea, 1 point behind Spurs. So it was a massive win. It could be, and Tottenham have got to go and do that now at Liverpool. and they're capable of doing that, though. They are capable of doing that.
Yeah, no, they are. I think, unfortunately, they are one team that can do that. Couple from Francis here. Francis has said because of the last super chat, he says that because Spurs will not beat Liverpool. Of course, we've got to see what happens there. But he's also brought in another one, Tobes, which is for you, saying, "What is Toby's channel? Great guy, in my opinion." So plug away, man.
Oh, thanks, bro. It's Tapin Tobes, so TAPINTOBS on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube as well. Thank you.
Legend, thank you very much. Make sure you get over there.
Mine's
Like
at Football Want if you're interested, Francis. At Football Want if you're spare time.
Any spare time, man. You've done the job for me. I was going to do it at the end when we said bye, but you know what? At Football One as well. While you're at it, get and subscribe to Dan's channel. Let's do the last before we wrap up. Start with league judges. Who's getting 4th place, Judge?
As I've said it, and I'll say it again. Like, if Arsenal beats West Ham and they beat Leeds, then Arsenal will get it.
Oh, and you say if we win, are we going to win? Are you going to stick your neck out on the line and say we're going to get 4th?
I think we'll beat West Ham, and I think that we'll beat Leeds. Yeah, so I think that we'll get it. But because but unless unless the Tottenham do madness and beat Liverpool, you know what I mean. So that these next 2 games are key for both teams. Unbelievably key for both teams.
That game, do you know, it's massive, like the Liverpool Spurs one, because someone's rightly said in the chat, obviously, it's not just the top 4 race people are going to be looking at, it's the title race as well. So that is just a nuts game. It's going to be mental. Tobes, what about yourself? Who's going to get 4th, bro?
I'm still, I say still. This is the first time we've done the show where I've actually backed Spurs, but screw it, man. I'm going to say Spurs. It's not over until it's over.
No, I agree.
Fair play. Dan United, who are you going for?
Yeah, I've said Arsenal for the last 2 shows, and I think I'm going to stick with Arsenal because I've put my name on that, and I'm backing it. I'll ride this horse until it dies. I think Arsenal will just about have enough. Like I said before, the North London derby is absolutely key, and I'm looking forward to a very fiery encounter.
Fair play. I'm just going to go with Arsenal because I said them last time, but I'm not 100% convinced. But I am. If I had to pick one, I would go with us because I have to be optimistic. But this North London derby is going to be nuts. Before we do wrap up, Tobes, I'm going to let you have this one. North London derby. What do you actually see happening? I know you obviously want a win and you think you're going to win. Like, what do you see happening? Because I personally feel like we're going to cancel each other out and we're going to draw. But what's your thoughts, bro?
I think we're going to beat you, man. I think, and I'm not saying that to say that we're just going to wash away with you. I think as we've spoken about with Brighton, Brentford, and some of the other teams, people are studying the best way to shut down Spurs, and I think you guys are going to try and do that. And I think in addition to that, I think you guys are also going to try and impose yourself in possession. But I just think, listen, I think the occasion, the fact that we still have a pretty strong home record against you in the last like 10 or so years, and the fact that there's actually going to be something riding on this game as well. Like it's an evening kickoff, and it's the first time in 3 years that we've had close to full capacity at our ground for a North London derby. Like we felt the effects of that when we went to yours. I was at the game earlier on this season. You know it was highly documented what time I left. The noise was deafening, and the game was lost from the first kick. Like we just couldn't live with Arsenal. And I think we can talk about tactics, etc., but I think with that game being on the line, and it's gonna be a sold out crowd as well. I'm expecting us to rise it, man. I think we're not going to batter you. I think it's going to be a closely fought game, but I think we'll edge it at home, man. I have to back us at home.
Fair play, man. Judges, what about you? Do you see a draw or a win either way?
Yeah, I see what Toby's saying. I think like the crowd being at home is always an advantage. But 8 years since we've won there, it's about time that we've done something. You know, Mikel's broke a lot of records over the last few years, and some of them not that we've wanted, but this is one that we need. So, listen, you can't predict it at the moment because you don't really know how the teams are going to be going into it. If Tottenham have got to come and, I'm hoping that we'll be 5 points in front of them, where Tottenham have got to come at us. and that will play into our hands a little bit, like, because if we're going at them, it plays into their hands. So it'd be a special occasion at the moment. But I think that I think you can't really sort of predict it until it's right upon us. And but you know, obviously, as an Arsenal fan, you don't want to lose that game or take a draw. But you know, it could be like if we get the result there, it could be enough. So bring it on, bring it on.
Bring it on indeed. Listen, we're going to wrap it up there. Thank you all so much for listening in the chat. Thanks for listening on the audio. We'll be back for a West Ham preview this week. And then on the Monday night, I'm sure me and Lee will be back to discuss what's happened the weekend, Arsenal versus West Ham. First of all, I want to say is thank you to Dan United for coming back on, bro. How can people follow you?
At Football Want on Twitter, and Footballism, that is what I want on Instagram, giving grassroots football the voice it deserves. Thanks for having me on, guys. Appreciate it.
Mate, always welcome. Tobes, tapping Tobes on all social media and YouTube. Get over to his channel, subscribe. He's hitting near enough 10k now, bro, so it's going well, man.
Yeah, well, I need to get to 8k first, but yeah, if you can help me get to 8k first, please support and cheers. Thank you. Looking forward to when's the next one? I'm assuming probably like right before the end of the season, right?
Yeah, we'll make sure we do it like around the North London derby-ish time. So it'll be interesting by then to see what's happening. In a way, for the show, in a way, I hope that for the show, I hope that it's still on for personal reasons and selfish reasons. I hope it's wrapped up by then, but I have my doubts that it will be, bro. It's the nut season. So, but thanks for coming on, Tobes. You're a legend, man. Thanks a lot, bro.
No problem. No problem. Anytime.
Nice one. Me and Judges will be back to see you soon. And hopefully by then, Arsenal will have sewn up 3 more points against West Ham. Until then, we'll see you next time. Up the Arsenal and take care, guys.